Okay.
Yeah. So hello guys. So I think we are live now. Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi guys. We are live now. So can we please confirm if you guys can hear me well? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm audible now. So hello and welcome everyone. So Cracku in association with Welingkar Business School presents you this live webinar on what next after CAT and B School profiling. As CAT just got over and the response sheets are also out, most of you might be wondering what to do next. So today we are bringing you this live webinar. We have with us Professor Dr. Deepa Dixit. She is the Senior Associate Dean and she'll help you out with this. So basically, she'll be talking with us on the different sectoral programs in MBA, and she will also clear any queries you might have on different courses offered by the Welingkar Business School, and also with regards to its admission process. So, firstly, let me introduce her to you. So Professor Dr. Deepa Dixit has a PhD from University of Mumbai in the area of impact and effect of changes in consumer behavior driven by social media. She has 20 years of teaching experience and 5 years of industry experience in product and business management, product and brand management, spanning across sectors such as and home decor. She is a subject expert and taught marketing, communication, consumer behavior, social media, and digital marketing. And her research interest lies in consumer behavior, social media, millennials, design thinking led research. Also, she has international case studies to her credit. She authored The Game Just Got Bigger, which won second prize internationally, and it's accepted among the top 10 cases from India as part of the Giving Voice to Values. And the same is published by GVV, Babson College, and United Nations Global Impact, Principle for Responsible Management Education. She has also been nominated to Linnaeus Palme Scholarship for faculty exchange at Malardalen University, Sweden. So now, hello ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar.
Yeah, hello to the Cracku team, and thank you for that generous introduction.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, now you can please take over.
Yeah, I know a lot of students have been talking about now that the CAT key is out. They probably know where they're going to fall. So one of the first steps is what is over, and you'll come to know whatever the results are. Where do we go from here on? So my recommendation is a couple of things. One is look at which is the percentile bracket that you are likely to fall in. Let us assume you are getting anything above the 80 percentile mark. Then which are the institutions that are going to accept this, and do they have multiple campuses? Do they have a single campus? And what are the differential cutoffs that they may have by virtue of the type of program and the selection process involved for these programs? So I think this month of December, considering some of you may also be giving XAT, and soon there'll be, once the results are out, in some time there'll be calls. I think you should invest this time of December, at least the next couple of weeks, in figuring out which are the B schools which fall in these different brackets, and what is it that you really want to do. So talking to you a little bit about Welingkar, we have a cutoff at least of 80 percentile and above for the programs in Mumbai, and for the flagship programs. However, there are certain specialized programs that we have, which is rural management, healthcare management, media and entertainment, where the cutoff would be also based on the profile. So if you're a BSc Agri student, or you're a pharma student, or you're somebody from the media background, then we will certainly look at your profile, and we can go down to even up to 70 percentile if your profile fits into the game. So my suggestion to you is, at this stage, keep your options open, because eventually the choice of whether to go in for a program or not is going to be with you. But keeping your options open and exploring it, considering that you want to do your MBA this year, will really help you make some important decisions at the right time. So that's what I would recommend for immediate, as far as immediately what to do after the results are out. So is there anything more specific that they want to know? Please help me with the questions, and I'll be very happy to answer them.
Yeah, sure. So can you talk about a bit more about the flagship program and also the sectoral programs? Like, what exactly is the admission process? How can students apply for it? Yeah.
Okay, so like most institutions at Welingkar also, the admission process is broken down into a weightage a bit for the percentile, which ranges anywhere between 35 to 40% weightage is given to your percentile. But there is a good 60% which is distributed to your academics, to your interview process, and to the extracurricular activities that you have invested time in, including for the core program, which is the flagship PGDM, as well as for the sectoral programs, or let us say uh, other programs like PGDM e-business, or we have a program in research and business analytics, both at the Mumbai and the Bangalore campus. So the selection process is broadly this. But when we are conducting an interview, what I want you to know is, we usually have some element of identifying the personality aspects of the student, and also the fitment of the student to a particular program. So I would recommend that you pay some attention to that. So when you're filling in an application form, and there is a lot of news going on about the career options that are available in research and business analytics, especially, you may want to take business analytics, but take a look and see, is this something that you are really cued into? Is number crunching, is analyzing data something that gives you, brings out the best in you? And do some bit of research when you're responding to the questions asked. So why is it that you want to do analytics? It's important for us to know. And the personality questionnaire tells us the kind of person you are with respect to the softer aspects. So are you somebody who is what kind of a leadership trait do you show? What kind of team dynamics? How do you respond to team dynamics? How do you respond to difficult situations? So these are things that are also important for us to know when we are looking at your choices. The other thing I want to say is, let's assume you are a BCom honors or a BSc graduate, and non-engineering, and you don't have a BSc Agri or something, and you are also a fresher. How do we look at you? So in that case, we are certainly looking at your academics, and we are also looking at your capability to apply whatever you know. So let's say you are interested in retail because you are a kind of person who enjoys consumer behavior, engaging with people, making a strategy for the brand to grow. If that is your choice, then there are multiple choices. You can either fall into the PGDM core and take marketing, or you can take up retail, or you can take up business design, because design is all about starting from the consumer. Or you can even take like I already said, retail management. So you don't have to feel fixated about a particular program. My recommendation to you will be, go and look at what are the specializations or what are the courses that are offered, And also when we, on the Welingkar site, you will find placement information. So what we have done, is we have put down the placements for every program separately, apart from umbrella placements. So you'll know that PGDM retail, what is the average package, what has been the highest, and which are the companies which have come for PGDM retail management, which are the companies that have come for PGDM media and entertainment, which are the companies that have come for rural, which are the companies which have come to the Bangalore campus for research and business analytics, and the companies that have come to Mumbai campus. So there is absolute open, transparent information available. One, you should take a look at these companies because they will give you an idea of the kind of exposure that Welingkar will certainly offer you during the placement time. And secondly, we are also going to try and put the kind of roles that these companies are offering. So let's say you're a BSc chemistry. I would say look at your personality and look at what is your area of interest. Healthcare management will be something that will give you a plus because you have a science background. And now, if that is an area that you want to grow in, but you want to get into marketing or you want to get into the finance or you want to get into strategy. So, healthcare also offers healthcare analytics for that matter. If you're going to do business design, there is a consulting kind of courseware which is available in the business design program. So recommendation is keep your options open and look for your interest and see if it is there across programs. Okay, so healthcare I've spoken about. Rural management, so a lot of students do feel that if I take up rural management, I'll have to go to rural India only and settle there. That's not the point. The whole point is about making rural India more inclusive. For example, there have been 450 branches that a particular leading bank in India, HDFC Bank, has set up in rural India in the last few months. Who is going to be able to function and run that entire thing most effectively? People who know the dynamics, the economics of rural India, and they understand finance. That is what the rural management program teaches you. So if you look at the type of companies which come to recruit from rural management, you will have the HDFCs and the ICICI banks, the Adani group, and FMCG companies, and you will also have agro companies. So it's a plus. So when you're looking at these programs, look at it with that openness. So it's nothing less or nothing super more. You certainly have an advantage. Another such program is media and entertainment. So when you look at media and entertainment, in that program, there are again two types of companies. So you have organizations which are wanting digital marketing experience. So this organization can be anybody. It can be a bank, it can be an FMCG, or it could be a large conglomerate or an IT company. And then you have companies which are Netflix, the OTTs, the channels, which will recruit from the media and entertainment. So you have the benefit of being recruited by both these set of companies. So that is something that you should go and look up. And I'll recommend to you that please look at this because these are the growing sectors. One clue for you is look at the IIMs or the baby IIMs or the better ranked institutions in the country and go and see what kind of programs are they launching. So for example, an IIM Ahmedabad has an agri-business program and IRMA has an agri program or a rural management program. Most of these institutions have started courses in analytics. There are programs in healthcare by some top-notch institutions in the country. So most certainly there are opportunities over here, and I'll recommend you to explore this on a serious note.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for briefing us about that in detail. So now speaking about these sectoral programs, do we have to apply for each of these separately? If so, can we apply for multiple programs?
Yes, you can apply for multiple programs. There is a single application only. You can give your preferences, you can rank them. In the Mumbai campus, there are 8 programs, so you can pick any 5. And in the Bangalore campus, we have 4 programs, which is e-business, research and business analytics, business design, and PGDM. You can pick all 4 if you wish. And
All
there's
right.
only one application form, no multiple application forms.
Okay,
And
just
single
one
selection
form.
process.
Yeah. Okay. So should we have relevant work ex if we are selecting a specific program? Like, is that mandatory?
No, it's not mandatory to have relevant work experience. Some work experience, if you have, is also good. Relevant work experience is obviously excellent. So we have a student who has worked, let's say, in Zydus Pharma, and now is doing healthcare management. That is relevant. So obviously, during placement time, we will have a one up on the others. But we are not mandatory. We are not saying mandatory to have relevant work experience.
Okay, it's not mandatory, but it's good to have because it might help during the placement process.
If you have it, good. And that's why, I said that if you have relevant academic background, try not to waste it. Unless, that's a field that you want to run away from. Like there are some engineers who want to run away from coding, and they want to get into the media and entertainment world, and they want to analyze and strategize. That's a different story. But if you like what you have done, this is the next building block.
Right. So we have a few questions as well from the students.
Sure.
So does Welingkar accept NMAT scores? If yes, then what's the cutoff?
No, we don't accept NMAT scores because we are approved by AICT, and NMAT is not recognized by AICT for the tests which other institutes can accept.
So, what other exams apart from CAT,
XAT is one, CMAT is another, and ATMA is another that we take.
All right. Next we have so are there any programs for software management?
Software management.
Yeah.
We don't have a program.
Programs.
We don't have a program for software management, but we do have a program called PGDM e-business. And normally in this, there is one aspect which deals with software management. So there's no full-time program which says software management, but certainly there is a space. There is an elective around that. And I also want to tell you this, that across the campus, we do invite students who have an aptitude for what you would call as able to make calculative or let's say programmatic thinking. And if they're interested, then we do train them on AI and ML platforms.
All right. So can you also please discuss on the important dates, the application dates, the closing dates, and so on?
Right. So the applications are open, and the closing date is 15th of January. Over here, by the time I think the XCT results will also be should be out properly. That's the closing date, January 15, 2023. The interviews for the students who apply in this phase will happen in the month of February, and we'll come out with the results around March end. Important here is, let's say you've given your CAT or your XAT, and you've not really got a great score, something that you anticipated, or God forbid below 80.
Who have not performed very well.
So what do you do next? Certainly recommend you to take the CMAT, and you don't have to reapply to us. In the first phase, we also have profile-based calls. So what is this profile and how do we look at it? We are looking at consistency in academic records. So if you've got a first class throughout, that adds to your profile. If you have some bit of work experience, that adds to your profile. So these are some, and if there is a relevant academic background, that also adds to your profile. So for example, if you want to apply for healthcare and you are from any of the sciences or an MBBS, so we also have a scholarship for women MBBS who are applying for healthcare management. We have a scholarship for students who are applying to the business design program. So you can apply for that, and basis of your profile, like I said, your academics, your overall journey, we check it, we take a look at this, and we will call you for the interview. Even if your CAT score is below, not up to the mark,
Right.
on the basis of your profile, and you will then have to give another exam, say the CMAT, and meet the cutoff. So my recommendation is, before go for the first phase, do a good job, complete the interview, and then make sure that you make the cut, at least in the CMAT. And you don't have to give an interview again or fill another application form and waste your money. We'll just take in that score and reassign your score and see if you get selected to one of the programs.
All right, thank you. So we have a question from the student.
Yeah.
So he's asking, what is the CAT cutoff for applying for PGDM HR?
Okay, the 80.
All right.
80 in Mumbai and 75 for the Bangalore campus.
Okay.
And we don't have specialization wise cutoff. Whether it is PGDM, marketing, finance, HR, or operations, the cutoff remains the same. And anyway, your specialization begins only in year 2. So that really is not a parameter.
Okay. So another student is asking, is having 4+ years of work experience in the IT sector a positive or negative part of the profile?
Okay. The answer to that depends on, if you have 4+ years, I don't know what the current package of the student is, and which organization he or she is working in, and the personality of the student. So let us say if the person is, I don't know if you can ask this, but if the person is, wanting to move out of IT sector and get into analytics, or get into finance, depending on that person's aptitude, it will not be seen as a negative. But two factors will make that difference, because we have had students with 3 to 4 years experience also. In fact, I've had students with even 5 years experience. Two aspects make a huge difference. I hope there is no huge gap in your education or anything. Your academics are good, number one. Number two is your work experience of 4 years. What has been your learning? That should be adding value, not necessarily in the same sector. Even if, let's say, you want to work for a bank, absolutely fine, but what value do you bring to the table? And lastly, you have to have awesome communication skills, because if you've been in the industry for 4 years, you cannot suck at communication.
All right. So is there a domain selection available in second year in business analytics course for finance and marketing as a subject? So Ritik, Samantha is asking this question.
Yes, there is.
All right.
Yes, there is.
So Siddharth is asking that, ma'am, what will be the broad cutoff for CMAT, ZAT, and ATMA, finance and PGDM, research and business analytics?
Okay, so last year we had done a dual cutoff thing, but it all depends on the results and how it turns out this year. So it will be unfair to just rattle off some figures, but I can tell you. So last year in PG, EBIZ and research and business analytics, our cutoff was 80 for Mumbai and 75 for Bangalore. And for business design, retail, media and entertainment, it was, and with, these 3 programs, it was 5 percentile less, because we are looking at profiles more over there. And rural and healthcare, it was 70, because again over there, BSc Agri, these applicants, we are more keen on taking them. Not that we are not keen on taking others who are interested, but that's how it has been.
All right. So, ma'am, now can you please tell us the difference between Welingkar Bangalore and the Mumbai campuses? Are those independent campuses, or students can shift between the multiple campuses?
They are independent campuses. Okay, the selection process is jointly held for the benefit of the students. Otherwise, imagine taking two interviews just for Welingkar or for any other institute. The selection process is combined only for the students' benefit.
Okay.
There are two independent campuses. The Bangalore campus itself is now more than 15 years old, and they have a vibrant, industry connect of their own. The Bangalore campus is situated in the electronic city and is surrounded by the best of the IT companies as well as consulting firms which come there for recruitment. So they have an independent placement process, and let me tell you, the packages are also extremely good. The the highest package this year so far, I think, has been about 18 lakhs at the Bangalore campus, and Mumbai campus also around 18 lakhs, and a few programs we have gone up to 22 23 lakhs in the Mumbai campus. So both have their own entity and both have their plus, as well as, it really depends on your personality choice. So last year I had a lot of students who wanted to go to the Bangalore campus because it has four programs. It has a smaller batch size overall as compared to Bombay, and they feel that they can flourish in an environment like that. Whereas the Mumbai campus has got about 700 odd students. It's a bigger cohort as an overall number of students, and but some students like being in Mumbai. Some students want to be in a slightly quieter place, and they like Bangalore. Not that Bangalore is not a party zone, but still,
Right.
Mumbai is different in its vibe as compared to Bangalore. So there are two independent campuses for sure. You have the option in the form to mark 1 to 5 for Mumbai and 1 to 4 for Bangalore, and depending on the merit listing, we will allot the program to you.
Right. So yeah, so they also have a separate placement process, like you said. It's
Absolutely,
not a,
there is
yeah.
yeah, they have a complete team that operates independently,
Okay.
and they have fantastic companies coming to campus.
All right. So if we select PGDM, can we get a specialization in the degree, or will it be PGDM for all the students?
I didn't get this. Can you say the question again?
Yeah. So if we select the PGDM program, can we get the specialization in the degree?
Yeah, it
Like
will be
we'll get.
mentioned. It will be mentioned.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Surya Pratap is asking, does CET score is accepted? I think you already answered that. No, CET is not accepted. Only CAT, ZAT, CMAT, ATMA, GMAT are accepted, right?
Correct, correct. Last year, though, towards the end, then against cancellations, because it got dragged out on account of CMAT coming out late,
Right.
for vacant seats, we asked the people who, for specific programs only where there were a few vacant seats in the end, we took CET. Otherwise, CET is not something that we are considering.
Okay. So Nakul Arora is asking, what's your healthcare average package?
My healthcare average package is currently 12.04, and the highest is 18 lakhs for this year so far.
All right. And what are the CMAT and ATMA cutoffs for business analytics courses? Business analytics course.
Normally, CMAT and ATMA cutoffs are a 5 percentile at least above the CAT and ZAT cutoffs.
Okay.
Again, it would depend on the difficulty level of that year. If you feel that there are a lot of students, if the paper is very easy, things change. So yeah, but you can take it as a thumb rule, about 5 percentile more than the CAT or ZAT.
Okay. So this is about the placement report. So where can we download the placement reports of the programs?
So the
that you
placement
mentioned?
reports are there on the website. I'll also, Mr. Shiva, who's coordinating with Cracku, he will send it to you.
Okay.
And we have asked them to update the placement report, so it might not be there right now, but in a couple of days you can see it, because 21-23 placements are ongoing. What we have done is we also tried putting the names of the companies which are recruiting from every program. Okay, and a lot of times I get questions from students saying that I'm in the let's say I'm in the rural management program, or I'm in the media entertainment program. So will I get to apply only to companies who ask for media and entertainment? The answer to that question is no. a term that my team has coined, I think it's used by students, is umbrella placements. So there are certain conglomerates or companies which come and they are trying to say that I'm happy to take students across programs, and we also pitch depending on the profile. So there's a company called City US which came this year. It's into insurance and financial services. They specifically said we want healthcare management students. Okay. And we had an Adani group which came and they picked students across programs, including rural and PG core and e-business and analytics. So it's everything is role specific. We had a healthcare company come and pick students from the media and entertainment program because they wanted, study of, customer success or consumer behavior driven strategy input. So they said we are opening it to media entertainment students also, and they picked students from that program. So everything is role specific, guys. It's not just the title of the program that you carry, it's what you bring to the table.
Right. Yeah, thank you. So now, given the current economic downturn forecast, the current economic forecast, so would you recommend? Yeah, so would you recommend doing an MBA right now? So is it a good option to consider now?
Okay, so I mean, if the economy is certain, I mean, if you see that there is a bit of a slowdown, yes, there are a lot of people who are being laid off and all of that, then it makes absolute business sense to do your MBA around this time. Because when the jobs are shrinking and when the options are less, go home, reskill yourself, do an MBA, and come back after 2 years when obviously the economy is will start looking a little better.
Back to normal. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't think there's anything called back to normal. There is always
it's just a cycle.
Come back with some additional vigor. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, right.
So it might be a good idea to do that. Yeah.
All right. So now let us take a few questions. So Pranjal is asking, if I have a back in few subjects in BCom second year, which will be cleared by March beginning, I'm eligible for IM interview in Feb as I'm getting 96%. So he is asking, would he be eligible for the interviews at Welingkar as well? So
yes, as long as you're clearing it, and by the time you're into the campus, all your sins are washed away. Then we are okay with it. Also remember, whether you get into an IM or whether you get into a Welingkar, whatever comes your way, end of the day, we are only a passage which is preparing you. It is the industry which will have to accept you. So there are some organizations which will say, I want first class throughout your life. There will be some organization which will say, I'm okay. I don't care what you did in the past. Okay, fine, you have decent grades and all of that, but I'm going to test you. And there are interviews which go on for 2 hours and 3 years. So every organization has its own protocol, and in such circumstances, IM cannot do anything. It's the organization which takes the call, boss.
Right. So Siddharth is asking, ma'am, having a 4-year academic gap after undergraduation because of civil service preparation, is it a big disadvantage? Would you recommend, what would you recommend to such a candidate?
Oh God, these questions are increasing every year. Huh? 4 years. Yeah. So what were you doing apart from preparing? Was he doing anything else? I don't know. So there are a couple of ways of representing this. There is no way you can do a cover-up job on this. Okay, so don't even try. For getting admission into a management institute, you may not have a problem if you make the grades and whatever else, cutoffs and clear the interviews, etc. But when I'm really thinking 2 years hence, assuming you've got into a business school. I think you'll need to really excel in your internship and during the 2-year journey. And the only explanation you will have to give is, what were you doing for these 4 years? And you will have to tell them that I was preparing for my UPSC. I did not make the cut. And and there was one student this year from my rural batch who got into Adani, and he wanted to make it to the Indian Air Force. So he did spend some time around that, and they did question him on that. He used it to his advantage. He said what that preparation uh, and has built in him. And a lot of companies when recruiting are also worried about whether the person is going to stay or they're going to leave them in 6 months and 8 months. So he said the very fact that I'm a person who's committed to a UPSC or a or the Air Force, it brings in two things: readiness to to work with discipline, and bring in some loyalty to the organization where I serve. So I think if you're able to enlist what is it that those 4 years has taught you, and the resilience that you still have, I think it should be fine. Will it be an easy bed of roses? No, you'll have to work towards it.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know a plan B other than this, what he may have. So might as well go for it. And whatever it is, don't suspend your decision for one more year. Put your heart and soul into whichever exam and get into a good business school.
All right, thank you. So for a student with less than expected CAT score, so with a very low, with a less CAT percentile, should he or she try again, or so should they join this year based on their scores?
So it depends on how many times you've been trying. If this is your first attempt, then I'll go with what Kushal said, and he said that there's going to be a little bit of a backlash in the economy. So I'll put my bet and I'll say maybe I'll give the CMAT and I'll get a better score and I'll get into my B school this year. And I'll capitalize on the downturn in the economy, prep myself up, and come out after 2 years with a, and get into the industry. That's what I would recommend. If you have already given 2 attempts, please don't waste another year and struggle with the question in front of the industry. And what were you doing for 3 years preparing for CAT? Because what is the guarantee that next year also you're going to do something else? There's no guarantee for anything, but I think it's not worth the wait. And the number of IIMs and the number of baby IIMs and the number of universities are only increasing. So, in my opinion, there's no point waiting. Just get moving.
All right. So now speaking of the sectoral programs, will all the sectoral programs have common curriculum initially, or will they have their own curriculum from the day one?
No. So from in the first and the second trimester, we have a trimester pattern. So in the first year, about 70% of your curriculum will be similar.
Okay.
Across programs, because the first year is really all about fundamentals. The first trimester for sure is fundamentals, and yes, they will slowly start increasing the introduction to the sector from the first trimester. So you will have one course which is different as such, but that's how it will grow. And in the second year, you will still continue to have some courses which are important across all programs, but there you will have more of specialization or sector plus specialization.
All right. So Nakul is asking, in finance, do you prefer diversity or you prefer engineers?
No, we prefer diversity. We have engineers, we also have BCom grads, we have BA economics, we have BScs, physics, chemistry, zoology, whatever. What we do have at Welingkar is somewhere before the first year ends, we have something called a proficiency test. So we test the student on the proficiency for a particular specialization that they want to take up. So it's like a summary of what you have done in the first year. And it's by no means a way to put a roadblock for you, but it is certainly a mirror for you. So if you want to take up finance and you have been goofing around on finance courses, you're certainly going to not perform well at the proficiency test. And so it's a mirror to tell you, boss, if this is a space you want to get into, pull up your socks. So you're given an opportunity to give the proficiency test another time. And if you're pathetic at it, we'll warn you to say, are you really sure that this is the space that you want to take up? But we're never going to stop anybody from taking a specialization of their choice.
All right. Yeah. So again, so student is asking, I have 50 in 10th and 60 in 12th and 70 in BBA and MSc Finance 79. Should I, will I convert? So he's asking the chances of conversion.
So your graph is like this, which is 50, 60, 70. And what else he has done?
50, 60 and MSc Finance.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Chances of
79.
conversion, what is, I don't know what your percentile will be, but the chances of conversions are pretty good.
All right. Thank you. So, ma'am, what is the weightage of CAT score, VAT, GDPI in the final selection process?
So the percentile, the whatever the exam that you take, the weightage over there ranges between 35 to 40%. Weightage is given to that. Your academics will have anywhere between 15 to 20, and your interview process, which also includes all the soft skills and everything, will be a maximum of 40% weightage, and about 4% will be there for your extracurriculars, your sportsmanship, if you have any, all of that.
All right.
So your CAT, ZAT, whatever you give, will be somewhere in the range of 35 to 40. So that's what I want you to remember. There's 60%, and even out of that 60, there is 40% which is currently in your hand. 50 in academics is still your past. Your extracurriculars is still your past, but 40 is fully in your hands and how you perform.
Right. So if a person applies for multiple programs, so how will the interview be like? Will there any program specific questions during the interview? So
yes, we are not expecting you to be an expert in that area.
Okay.
Just like how for the PGDM core, if somebody wants to take finance, I don't expect the student to already know everything that they are wanting to get into. But we are certainly wanting to know, why do you want to do this program? What do you know about this space? And what is it that you like about it? And your ability to apply. Mostly we are looking at communication, critical thinking ability. Okay, what do I mean by critical thinking ability is, usually we'll give you some kind of a situation and we'll ask you, how will you resolve this problem? So let's say if you want to open a pizza outlet in whichever city that you're residing in, what will you, or not even pizza, I'll say food outlet that you want to open, choose a city and tell me what food and why will you do it over there. So I want to know, what are the things that you are going to think of when you are applying a solution. So do you have that ability to think of business like things? What is your pattern of thinking? That's what we are looking at. We are not looking at an expert in healthcare to give us an interview. We are not looking at a rural expert. Or if you are an expert, I'm very happy to take you. But that's not what we're looking at. We want to know, do you know that in healthcare, which are the bigger organizations? Do you know, when you're talking about rural management, what are some of the government policies that they have announced for the betterment of rural India, or the connection between rural and urban? Are you serious about the options, or are you just doing tic-tac-toe? I want to get into this institute. If not this. If not vada, sambar nahi to dosa. Not like that.
Yeah. So let's say a student joins a program and they want to shift to a different program. Can they do so by taking some form of internal exam, or can they? No. So once you select a program, so that is final until
Yes,
you go.
yes.
Okay.
If they want to learn from a learning point of view, if they want to sit into a few sessions that they can, make an application, they will
Okay.
get a degree for the program that they have taken admission.
All right. Yeah. So, how should we choose a B school to join? So, what are the different factors to consider, and what weightages should be given to those factors? So, different
You should
factors.
ask this question in the chat and tell the students what factors they are looking at.
Okay. Right.
So, can you all put in the chat number one factor that you look for? Let's see what they are looking for.
Yeah. Sure.
What is the number one factor that students are looking for when they are evaluating a B school? Can you please punch in your answers fast? Is it a three-letter word? Let's try some magic. Because I can't see your chat, because you're
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
looking
Right.
at me with
Yeah.
that.
I'll.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I'll be telling you if
So is it a
reading
three-letter
you out the
word
question.
called?
So yeah, a student has messaged that placements and fees.
ROI. So yes, the first thing that students are looking for is the return on investment. My way of looking at it is return on investment, 100% yes, but in two ways. You certainly look at the fees and certainly look at the average and say, okay, I'll be able to recover my fees in a year. I will not have to, or 1.5 year or so at max, and feel that's a fair way of looking at something. The other way of looking at something is this is if those of you who want to get into finance or any other any other field, there is something called increasing brand equity. So when you buy the share, normally why do people buy shares during an IPO? Because that's hopefully the lowest, and from there it'll only go up with that view. So when you buy shares, you can either buy a blue chip share, or you buy somebody who's just opening up. Eventually the primary thing is you're hoping that the brand value of the place from where you graduate goes up. So your return on investment is actually the 40, 50, 60, 100 people sitting around you and the kind of contacts that you'll make, which is impossible to make. Imagine you are having a connect with 200 students. You may think it's funny, but if I tell you contact 50 people to whom you can talk about your own candidature, assuming you have an MBA, you'll find it difficult today. But 2 years hence, you'll be able to pick up the phone and talk to 50 people very easily because they are from your batch, they are from your alumni, they are your seniors, whoever it might be. You'll have connections. So, a business school that has the potential to give real good quality connections is your ROI. That
Right.
is your return on investing in people. Yes, ROI is something you have to look for. If somebody is charging you 25 lakhs, 20 lakhs, whatever, and if the median is not even half, I mean, is half of that, you will have to rethink. So yes, ROI is important, no doubt. But look at both these aspects, is what I will say.
Right. And another factor mentioned by Kshitij is image of the institution among big MNCs.
Yes. So this is like a chicken and egg situation. Uh, the if the MNs, the image is something which is a multiplication of so many things, right? So if they're coming for, not necessary that if the image is very good, they will come and recruit from there, because there might be organizational policies which the institute cannot do anything about. So I would say that if they're coming and recruiting, so we do have a Google that takes summer interns from Welingkar. Amazon comes to campus for recruitment. All the Accentures, the Deloittes, the Infosys, all the banks come to Welingkar for recruitment. I think a good 40 to 50 MNCs come to Welingkar for recruitment, and there are a good number of Indian large conglomerates which come for recruitment. So, from that perspective, I think you should look at, is there a good bunch of organizations, whether MNCs or Indian large conglomerates, which come to recruit.
Right. So again, Ritik is asking if the student clears cutoff of ATMA, CMAT or GMAT, will they be called for interview 3 times or only the best score will be selected?
No, pa, only once. Only once. One time
Right.
is good enough. You're not going to, suddenly sing Sanskrit shlokas in the interview. So I will call you only once. So whatever
Right.
you sing only once.
Right. So I hope that answers your query, Ritik. And so
So
what is the yeah,
he's
yeah.
influenced. Sorry, I think he's influenced with this mock test. Every time you give these mock cat, mock this. So he's saying I'll come 4 times and do mock interviews, and my final interview will be the best. But unfortunately, not so.
Right. Yeah. So what is the intake from different programs across different campuses?
Okay, there is an entire list. The PGDM core
Okay.
in Bangalore has 60. E-business has got 120 seats. That's what he wants to know. He or she wants to know how many
No,
seats
no,
are there.
no, no. Just a generic question on yeah. No, no specifications have been mentioned. So what?
Okay, yeah. So in Bangalore, there are 4 courses. E-business has got 120 seats. PGDM, research and PGDM and has got 60 seats. Research and business analytics 60, and business design has got 30 seats. In Bombay, PGDM core has got 180 seats.
Okay.
E-business and research and business analytics has got 120. All other programs have got 60 seats.
Okay. So how can one justify their preference of the program as mentioned in their application?
How
So
can one justify meaning? There are
yeah,
questions which will
yeah.
be asked. So
Okay.
once you apply and you have marked your preferences, and if you are shortlisted for the interview, there are a couple of questions which are asked in the application for the shortlisted candidates, saying why is it that you want to do this particular program and what is it that you like about it, and what these are the 3 basic questions. You can treat this as a paper leak or whatever you want. Why do you want to do this program? What do you know about this sector? And where do you see yourself contributing in this space, or why do you like it? Something on those lines. So just if you want to get into retail, you should at least know which are the top 5 retail organizations functioning in this country, both online and offline. You should at least have read little bit about what is happening in the retail sector as on today. uh, that's all that is expected of you, and that will
Right.
be asked in the interview. You can certainly show your passion for that particular area.
Right. So Saif Mohammed is asking, ma'am, does Welingkar has a specific cutoff as such? I think you already mentioned this earlier about
Hmm.
the cutoffs.
Yeah, cutoffs are there, and we also look at profiles.
Right. Profile-based selection.
Yeah.
Let's take a few more questions. Yeah. So are the classes happening in the campus right now, or like will there be hostel facilities for the students?
Yeah. We have boys and girls hostels separately, and the moment you are selected, you are asked to put in your application. And if our own hostels are full, then we have rented out flats or by the institution, third party we have rented out. So that is also something that you can take up.
All right. So hi guys. Like, if you guys have any more questions, please put the questions in your chat box. We got in. So yeah, you were asking about the factors for B school selection. A student has mentioned another one, industrial relevance. I think yeah, you already
Yeah, sure.
right, you mentioned that. Right.
Correct.
Also, yeah. So finally, what is some piece of advice would you that you would like to give the MBA aspirants who are going to apply for B schools, who are planning to join the B schools in the coming academic session?
Only one piece of advice, and that is the outcome of this MBA journey of yours is a collaborative outcome. It's not that the B school is in the driver's seat and you're going to snooze in the back. Neither is it that the student will only drive everything and the institute will keep snoozing. So it is a collaborative effort. You have to take initiative. You have to show integrity in what you're doing, and you certainly have to be inquisitive about things. And B schools offer a good ecosystem. There are great faculty, there are libraries, there are so many things. You have paid for it, so go and get the best out of them. And that's the only way that you will be able to differentiate yourself from anybody else, or more important, realize what you came there to. Don't forget that most students, the moment they get an admission into a B school, go into snooze mode and think the ship will cruise on its own. I think that is an attitude. I'll say kick it the moment you get in. A good B school will never let you sleep.
Right. So I think we'll take one final question.
Okay.
So Welingkar Mumbai has lower cutoffs than Mumbai campus. So a student wants to know.
Bangalore has half a percentile lower cutoff, or may have in couple of programs than Mumbai campus, and that's differential cutoff is there in many other what you call institutions also who have multiple campuses. It does not indicate that it is of a lower standard or anything of that sort. It's only
Right.
that different geographies have different requirements. That's all.
Right. And finally, what does Welingkar look for in a candidate it selects apart from just the scores?
I told you, I'm looking for students
Yeah,
who are
profile.
inquisitive. They are
Right.
students who have displayed some integrity in their work. Don't just write, I volunteered with an NGO, tell me why you did it and show me some integrity with what you have done. And have some clarity of thought as to why you're doing an MBA program. That's it. And good communication and critical thinking.
All right. So I think with this we are done. So thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. You gave us some very valuable insights, and thank you so much for patiently answering all the queries of the students.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and all the best to all the students of Cracku. And thanks to the Cracku team for having invited me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in. We hope this webinar was helpful to you. Thank you.